Hello everyone and welcome back to today's reading. Today we're going to be looking at the question, or pretty much like if you're in a two-way situation where you have two options and you don't really know which option to choose or is the one for you, then this is going to be your video today. We're going to be looking at both options and see what comes up for if you choose either one of the two options. Keep in mind, it will be a general reading, so it will not always resonate for everyone. Just take what resonates and don't try to fit in what doesn't fit. As always, you can also book a private reading with me by sending me an email. The email is in the description box below, or you can click on my Linktree link and get in touch with me through there. Let's just get into it. So the piles you can choose from is the first pile is the Wizard's Tarot, which is this one. The second one for pile number 2 is the Everyday Witch Tarot. And for the third pile, we have the Tarot of the Divine. So pause the video if you need a moment to think, a moment to meditate, and then I will see you guys in your group. Hi pile 1, so if you chose the Wizard's Tarot, this is gonna be your reading today. So today we're gonna be looking at two options. If you're stuck between two options, let's see what either of those options will bring to you. So let's take a look at option number A. Option number A for pile number 1. What would that bring? And what is option number A? So the first one that we got is the 5 of Wands. Next up is the Empress. And then we've got the Queen of Wands. And the 5 of Swords. And at the bottom for that, we have the Page of Cups for you. Okay. So with option A, I already get the feeling of, I kind of want to say like a power move. It kind of feels like a power move type of thing, but at the same time, a lot of like conflict. And it feels like sneaky and not... It kind of feels like cheating a little bit as well, because you have the 5 of Wands and the 5 of Swords, but then it will make you feel like the queen on top. With the Page of Cups, this is the option that can bring out exciting, new, surprising things as well. So let's just take a look at option number B. What is the second option? The Strength card. Option B for pile number 1. We have the 8 of Wands. We have the 7 of Swords. Oh, got more than I wanted. The 9 of Pentacles. The 2 of Wands, and at the bottom of the deck we have the 8 of Pentacles. Underneath that we have the 8 of Swords as well. Okay, so I feel like this is the option. The second option is the option that you have been working on for a long time. With the 8 of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck, that talks about like crafting up your skill, like improving your skill, working diligently at it. I feel like you have put a lot of effort, time, and hard work into this already. I feel maybe even a little bit of imposter syndrome with this one, because you got like the 3 8s. You have the 8 of Pentacles, the 8 of Wands, and the 8 of Swords. So I feel like with that combination, like your emotion and feelings are the ones that's missing in this. So for me, that just tells me that your emotions are on the right path. You do not want to leave this behind, this option. Where the Eight of Swords talks about a lot of feeling stuck in your own thinking, in your own mind, and not being able to move forward. But let me just get over all of them, because like strength talks about like being a strong person, being able to see this through. With the Eight of Wands, it talks about sudden, quick movement. So things might get into a rush or into a faster pace moving things. Seven of Swords talks about maybe like cutting edges, not going fully for it, and just like, this is good enough kind of feeling. The Nine of Pentacles talks about it is an option that brings like good pay, and you know what you get, and it's comfortable, and it's all right. And then with the Two of Wands, for me, it always says about expansion. So I feel like you want to keep doing this, but maybe expand. And then with this option, to me, this option number A, feels like the option that in your mind, in your head, will give you the most reward. It will make you feel like a queen, like a boss, that you got this. But there's a lot of like battles and a lot of people you have to kind of betray to get there. Yeah. Okay, let me take a look at your oracle decks as well for option A and option B, just to get a bit more clarity on it. So option number A for pile number 1. Option A. Okay, I want a different deck. I want this one. Option A, pile number 1. Believe in the impossible. Option A for pile number 1. Oh, where did it go? Okay, this one is show the world the real you with full moon in Aquarius. Let me, one fell. Ugh. Okay. And the one that fell on the ground is a new romantic cycle begins with new moon in Libra. Yeah, so I feel with option A, it's a bit show the world the real you, believe in the impossible. I get, I know this is like the tarot of the moon, but with this one combination, it like kind of reminds me of the moon energy in the tarot as well, where it's like the idea of this option is so grand and so great and so like romanticized even a little bit. But I'm not sure if this is like the way to go. I feel like with the expansion, the Two of Wands, I feel like maybe there's an option of maybe like combining the two at some point. Anyway, let me take a look at the option number B for you as well. So option number B for pile number 2, or no, pile number 1, I'm sorry. Option B for pile number 1. You've got a new start is coming. The answers you need are coming. Okay, I feel like everything's coming for you. Pile number 1, option number 2. Oh, this one. The energy is okay. I feel like this is just saying, you know, you've got like option A and B, but I feel like the option of the second one is a more sustainable one, and like even though it might seem like you're tired of this. Do you really want to keep going? Do you really want this? Like I said, like the energy is gaining momentum, and I feel like for now the advice would be like stick to the second one, and like you can still think about that one and see how that would work or think about it a little bit more. But I feel like with the second option, it is getting there. It is gaining momentum. It is like coming. You got like a new start is coming. You need ends that are coming. Energy is gaining momentum. So you're not really there. It's like on its way. So I feel like whatever option you choose, the second one is just telling me you need more patience. And if you're like out of patience, you're not willing to wait any longer, then go for option number one. Yeah, I also wanted to get some advice for you, but I feel like this is already telling so much, telling like a whole lot. But let me get some advice for pile number one. Some advice. You've got the Ace of Pentacles. Okay, some advice for pile number one. Got the Eight of Cups. I think that's the only, was it? Yeah, that's the only 8 that we were missing here. Some advice for pile number one. The Six of Pentacles. Some advice for pile number one. The Five of Wands again, and the Two of Pentacles. And at the bottom you have the Knight of Pentacles as well. Yeah, I feel like, I don't know why, but I feel like for some reason I feel like option 2 is the option that you are already in. The option where you're already working hard, it's just getting boring, you don't want to do it anymore. It feels like a drag. And because you have the Five of Wands again, which to me usually talks like about conflict, and it can be about like competition and fighting and like rocks being on the way. But with this one, I feel more so that it might feel that way, but if you look at the situation closer, then it doesn't seem like they're fighting. Like they could be having like a good time. This is the only one that looks a bit angry. The other ones are just like just playing around. So I feel like maybe you need a more like a look at the situation without emotion, like what is actually happening, what is actually going on, and is there really a conflict or not. Like with the Ace of Pentacles talks about like new beginnings and new start, and I do feel with option 2 that it could be either expansion, or with option A it can be something completely different. Either way, something needs to be left behind. And like I feel like try to find like balance. What is your life missing right now? And try to get back the balance in your life. I feel like maybe even doing some charity work, or like helping other people with like your knowledge or the things you have, without the intent of like making money. And I think that would give you more insight on what to do next, because there is something that you need to leave behind emotionally. The idea of something, the emotion of something. You've got passion. Why do all the cards keep falling down today? Let's see. You have good luck and willpower. Passion, good luck, and willpower. And grieving at the bottom again. Okay, let me get this one as well. some advice for pile number 1. Flying. Some advice for pile number 1. Listening. One more for pile. Oh. Everything keeps falling. Okay. You got the goblins. Okay. Okay. Those are definitely too much. Let's just get over these real quick just to see what they were. Metamorphosis, cleaning house, home, unexpected visitors, peaks of joy, and rock bottom. Okay. Yeah, I feel like this is just like a reality check of, you know, the universe pretty much saying like, you got your head stuck in the clouds a little bit. You need to calm down, listen to your inner like works. Like, what are you passionate about? I feel like one of the two options is more like, this is really what I want to do, and the other one is more like fantasizing, not really, not like realistically. Okay, I want to get another deck, just to see. I wasn't planning on using this deck, but right now I'm like, okay, let me just see what comes up with this, with the Hidden Truth Oracle. I feel like that's some guidance that we might need. So some last messages for pile number 1. I wonder if you are happy without me. It was my fault, but I blamed you. Some last messages. I'm starting to understand our connection. You came closer than anyone. And one more. Pile number 1. Oh. I hide behind material things. We will be together again. I left when you saw you with someone else, and I regret lying to you. Okay, so I feel like this is just like your inner like intuition, inner child, whatever you want to call it, like pretty much telling you like, I feel like, you know, one of the two options is like the fantasy or not realistic, or it's like, you know that song, Villain, I think name is. Like, it talks about wanting to be the good guy, but being the good guy never pays off. So maybe you should try being the villain. And I feel like that's with one of the two options, with option A, where you're like, maybe I should just be the villain. Maybe I should just, you know, people, the option B is not like working out. I've been trying so hard, and like, you're tired, you're just tired, and now it's like, okay, maybe I should just go with option A and then like be done with it all. Let me be the bad guy, I'm fine. That type of thing. But this is like, what do you like, if everyone around you like died, no one was there anymore, what option would you go for? Like, if outside influence is no longer part of this problem. Because I feel like at some point, like, are you being honest with yourself about these options? Like, I feel like this is just asking, like, you know, like the other option, that's fine, that's fun to think about or to fantasize about, but is it really an option that could work out, or is it like the best option for you? And that I feel like, in of course, like, take what resonates, because it doesn't always, but to me option B seems like more of like hard work. You've been there, you've gone for it at this moment, because like I always say, tarot is like, at this moment the energy is like this, but then like in a week or something the energy can change, and maybe you've thought about this option more and you've worked out different angles or how you can make it work. But at this moment I feel like option B is the more up, the, like, not the better option, but like the option that's would bring in more long-term thing. It just requires a little bit more patience and a little bit more diligence to work on your craft and work it out, and you got this. And maybe like see what else you can do with it, with like expanding out, and maybe even combine the two. But for now, if it was just like option A, option B, I would say option B is the more, is the option where you know, okay, this is what I should stick to at this moment. So I think I'm gonna leave it here for you guys. I hope it resonated. I hope it made sense. If it did, please let me know. Give the video a like as well. Let me know down in the description below as well what you would like to see me ask and answer next. And yeah, I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I will see you guys again in the next video. Hi, pile number 2. If you chose the Everyday Witch Tarot, then this is gonna be your reading today. Today we're gonna be looking at option A or option B. Which one should you pick, or what does each option can bring you? Let's just see what comes out for you. So let's take a look at option number A. So the first option for pile number 2, it's the Lovers. What can option number 2A brings for 2? The 5 of Pentacles. Option A. Oh. We have the 10 of Pentacles. 7 of Cups. Okay, I want one more for option A. Option A for pile number 2. Okay, I wanted one more. That's a bit too much. For option A for pile number 2. And we've got the 2 of Swords. Okay. And at the bottom of the deck, we have the 4 of Pentacles. Okay. I feel like this is the option. Option A is like the option that you have your heart set on. Like deep down inside, you know this is the one that you actually want. But I feel like something is like holding you back. Maybe like the people around you, or like with the 4 of Pentacles, to me it just feels like this idea is the idea that you're like sitting on, like you're not, like you're protecting it, like no, I care about this option so much that you are not doing anything to get it or to move on. And with like the 2 of Swords, I get the feeling of like you're stuck in between, because I feel like the moment you feel you will stand up and like get this idea out there, like give it into the world, I feel like you're still, because it's something you're so passionate about and you love so much and you hold so dear, that I feel like you are afraid of like getting hurt when you bring it out there. Like you love this idea so much, but it also makes you feel a bit insecure about what others might say about it, even though yeah, I feel like you're so passionate about it. But let's take a look at option number 2. Like, what's option number B for you for pile number 2? Option 2 for pile number 2. The 8 of Pentacles. Option 2 for pile number 2. We have the Emperor, the King of Cups, the 3 of Wands, and one more. Those are 2. I wanted one more. I keep getting 2. Okay. The 2 of Cups and the Queen of Pentacles. Okay, can I get everything in? I feel like every time you get one more than I wanted. And at the bottom of the deck, we have the Knight of Swords and the Queen of Wands underneath that. Okay. Oh, and the 2 of Pentacles. Okay. Anyway. Okay, I can see the, like, the indecisiveness. Because option B is also a very good option. Because with this one, I was like, you feel so greatly about option number A. Like, why would that, like, what can be a cross from option number A that you're like stuck in limbo, that you cannot make a decision? But this one I also get with like the 2 of Cups. The 2 of Cups for me is the same energy as the Lovers, or like similar, where it's also something that you love it. Let's just get over it. With the 8 of Pentacles, I got like, this is the option where you like happily work on this option. You happily work towards achieving whatever it is. With the Emperor and the King of Cups, I feel like this is something like comfortable, like you're the master of this trade, like of this option. I feel like you're very know what this option can bring you, and it's still an option that, like with the Queen of Pentacles, gives you a lot of, I feel like both options are very similar in what it brings you. For me, option A is more about there's something that is lacking in your life. Like, I feel like you are feeling like something's missing. And maybe with like option A, the first option, you can go fill that like gap that I feel like you're having. But at the same time, option A, I feel like there's a lot you need to think about still, because I feel like there's a lot that can go on. With the 7 of Cups, I feel like there's a lot about this option that are not realistic. Like, there's a lot of options, but not all are like a realistic way of looking at them. But they're like, it can be like some fantasy with like the castle, but also some realistic thing with like money and love and learning and stuff. But I feel like option A at this moment is not the option you will go for, because you are still very much protective of it. And if you decide to go with option A, I feel beforehand there's a lot of thinking that needs to happen. Like, I don't think you have seriously considered option A in a way of, okay, how can I make this idea that I love so much practical? How can I actually move forward? And I feel like this needs a lot more thinking than option number B. I feel like with option number B is very much, I feel like maybe even going the way you have been going, maybe expanding a little bit, maybe like looking what else can I do within this option. Let's say, for instance, if it's like a job, like you're doing great, you're working on it, you're improving yourself, you're still learning, and then maybe like expanding the trade, like adding new things to what it is that you already do. And what with Knight of Swords is like a fast moving energy, so I feel like this will progress fairly quickly, and it's also something that you really like doing, you really love doing. So I feel like option B is maybe the thing that you are already doing, or already like working on towards, and this is just the one that's like tickling your brain a little bit. If that's not the case, then I would say option B is like the safe option. Maybe you've gone to school for it, and then like this is like the work part from the school, like, and this is like doing something totally different. Yeah, let me take a look at your oracle cards for option number 1, for pile number 2. Option number 1. Okay, we have the answers you need are coming, and believe in the impossible, and as well a time to give rather than take. And then your commitment is being tested as well. Okay, so the first thing I noticed is these two also came up with pile number 1. So I feel like maybe you should also watch pile number 1. Anyway, yeah, I feel like with this option, with the answers you need are coming, I feel like this is just saying like believe in the impossible. Let's say, okay, this option you let go. I feel like with all of them, like also with the time to give rather than take, I feel like this option needs a lot more investment and a lot more time and effort, and not to actually do it, but before you make the decision, I feel like you need to really like maybe write down like the pros and cons. How would you do this option? How would this work? How would this, like, what would this option look like in reality? Like really go for it and then make the option, make the decision. Yeah, because this, I feel like this is still a bit uncertain. You haven't really thought this through other than that you feel very passionate about. But passion is like not enough to go on for this. I feel like you need to have a more realistic look at what, like, how would that look like in reality. So let's take a look at option number 2 for pile number 2. Option number 2. Cool. You are good enough. Step out of your comfort zone. Oh, they keep falling. Today, let's take a look. And what do you need to release? And at the bottom for this, you have confidence is your key to success. Yeah, so I feel like option 2, option B, isn't like a bad option. Also because you had like the 2 of Cups underneath this as well. It's like you do have your heart set in this. And maybe, yeah, maybe you need to get a little bit out of your comfort zone and like try to expand or see what else you can do with this option. Because I feel like maybe this option seems more boring to you because, yeah, I don't know. That's like the thing that came to mind, like boring. But it's like in the Netherlands, because I am Dutch, we have this saying, like act normal, but it's more than act normal. It's like good enough is good enough. You don't have to excel at it to be happy, because with the tarot, I feel like you are already like on top of your game. You're already doing great. Why does it have to be like the best in this way? And I feel like that's a little bit what you need to release of like, or maybe even it's like challenging you to think about it. Okay, what do I need to let go? Why am I so unhappy with this option? And is there anything I can do to expand this, or can I use this option for something else, or like to get out of your comfort zone? So with this one as well, because at first I was like, why? Anyway, because this is a lot of thinking of, okay, this is, my heart is really set on this, but make it practical. And this is like the practical, but then is there anything you can use this to like expand, move on, to feel like it's good enough for you? Let's get some advice for you on these 2 options. like what to do, what to spend your time on. Do you need to spend like time, or like some advice for pile number 2? Some advice for pile number 2. Advice for pile number 2. Oh, come on. So advice for pile number 2. I'm sorry, my mind got distracted for a second, so maybe that's why they're not coming out. Advice for, oh Jesus, everything's coming out now. Okay, this one, the Hermit, of course, the Chariot, Justice, Ace of Wands, and the Lovers again. Okay, and then the 7 of Wands at the bottom of the deck. Okay, so you got some major things that still need to do as like an advice like thing. With the Hermit, it just talks, like I said, you need some time to really think both options through. Maybe write it down, make a list. Not just, oh, I'm stuck between, but really sit down and really look at the two options. How would that look like in practice? And because like, again, with the Lovers, with both of them, you have your heart on them. Maybe even like doing both for some people watching, not everyone, but I get that message for like some of you, maybe doing both in some kind of way. Chariot just talks about like being able to take the reins in your own hands, because I feel like when you have that internal look and internal being, then it would be easier to see, oh, this is like what I should do, and then take the reins in your own hands, get a new like fire going. I feel like because you got like 4 major arcanas, so is some major thing that you still need to work on, like inside of yourself. Both have your heart, but I feel like one of them, when you go internal, like I said, for some of you it's like doing both, like at 2 things at the same time. For others it's like combining the 2, and for others it's like picking one of the other. But whatever the Hermit energy after you go inside tells you, I feel like that's the one you're gonna go with. That's the one where you're like, I am so certain. But with the 7 of Wands at the bottom, I feel like right now you are still in a very defensive energy, very much like you got the Knight of Swords at the bottom of it. So it's very much feeling like a battle, feeling like a struggle, feeling, and I feel like a lot of feeling here. But I think with the Hermit, you need some time to really think about it, because I think you know the answer. There's just a little bit of defensive energy. I'm a bit scared of actually coming out with it. Let's take a look at some guidance for you for pile number 2. Jesus, okay. So for guidance, you have family, forgiveness, and home, and willpower at the bottom. Let's get these as well. Some guidance for pile number 2. Got making a choice. Yeah, that's the problem. Okay. Magical map shifting. Okay. Some guidance for pile number 2. And you've got the bone collector. Okay. And then a balancing act at the bottom. Okay, yeah, with this one, I really want to show you, because I love this card. But it's like making a choice, but both options don't see like such a bad options. They both look very beautiful in their own way, in their own, like first glance. but like one is like a snowy, very like the one you got at the bottom where it's like acting out of lack. I feel like this reminds me of like the Five of Pentacles, where it's like acting out of a lack of something. And here's like a new, this reminds me of like the Ace of Wands that you got here at the bottom as well, where it's like new beginning, new options, like the birth of something going on. Magical map shifting to me is just like, yeah, and with the Bone Collector as well. It's like going inside, like, you know, this is just like old lady, whenever she comes around, and always like an old grandmother who's like talking to you a bit cryptical, um where like that's not advice that I can use, like what are you talking about? This is just like your intuition, like telling you, like, just go inside, do some meditation and ask what is it, which one fits me better, why, how, and then come into like the reality and write down and see what the options, and then feel the feeling of both options. Which one will you regret? Can you, with the map shifting, I feel like maybe combine the two, like she has like two different things in her hands. I feel like those are like the options you have, and then it's like combine it together. What can you do to make it one, make it whole? Why are they separated? Why can they not be one option? But yeah, like I said, I feel like that's just for, not for all of you, but for some of you. If it resonates, it resonates. Let me get some last messages for you, some advice. Let me get them first, and then I'll explain them, because they might seem a bit not fitting to this reading, but I got the feeling I wanted to do these for pile number 1, so I will do them for you as well. So some last advice for pile number 2. Some last advice for pile number 2. We need to let each other go. So many things remind me of you. I am becoming a better person. I am so attracted to you, and I wish I could share my good news with you. And I want to be more than friends at the bottom. It's time for me to heal now underneath that. So, yeah. I again get this feeling of like combining the two. I feel like your heart is in both of them so much. I feel like one of the two options in the end, and I feel like you already know, is like one of the two has your heart more. Like if you are not the person where it's like you actually can combine the two, then that's like the answer for that. That's like one of the two has your heart more, and I feel like that's the one where you should go for first, and then the other option can be like a hobby or still in your life, but like on like a lower heat level. But with the majority of you, I feel like combining the two is like a serious thing to consider. Or how can you get them together? I feel like still a lot of thinking is needed still. A lot, yeah. Because with like family, forgiveness, and home, to me it also like the energy like combines, like family forgiveness, and then becoming a home together, like coming together with forgiveness. Yeah, I feel like there's nothing more than I can say or see from this. I feel like It's just take your time to meditate, go deep within yourself, and really work through this so you will not regret it. Really consider both options. Really work it out. What would that look like for me? Because then it will be easier to make the decision. Because I feel like with option A for you right now, that's the one that you know you will regret for the rest of your life, or it will be in your head for the rest of your life if you don't make it like a practical option, like really see what that would look like in reality. Because otherwise, this will stay in your head for the rest of your life, like forever. And then you will get to a point where you might regret not going for it, even though, because you have no idea what this would look like yet. So, yeah, I feel like that's the advice that I would give you right now. Really, really sit down and open it up a little bit for yourself. Don't sit on the idea and like hold it preciously. Really sit with the idea. Really have, okay, what would it look like in practice? Because I think that would give you more insight than I can give you of just choose this option or choose that option. So yeah, think I'm gonna leave your reading here. I hope it was helpful. If it was, please give the video a like and let me know in the comments down below. Also let me know what you would like to see me do next. And yeah, as always, I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I will see you guys again in the next reading. Hi, pile number 3. If you chose the Tarot of the Divine, then this is going to be your reading today. So today we're going to be looking at option A or option 1 and option number 2. And just take a look at what outcome will come for both of those options for you, and just see what comes out. And a lot of things happening today, so I feel like there's a lot of energy in the air today. I don't know why, but all my cards keep flying around, so please be patient with me as well. Yeah, let's just take a look at pile number 3, option A first. So the first option for pile number 3, option number 1. Option number 1. This one is the Queen of Swords. Next we have the Four of Swords. Oh. This is the Ten of Cups. Should be the Two of Cups. At the bottom we have the Four of Wands. Let me see. The Queen of Swords, the Four of Swords, the Ten of Cups, the Two of Cups, and the Four of Wands at the bottom. Okay, I feel like already option number 1 is like the long-term option. Long-term happiness, long-term fulfillment, long-term home. But at the same time with the Four of Swords, like it's not a happy camper, obviously. Something very painful happened for this option. And I feel like with the Queen of Swords can sometimes be like a bit of an ice queen, a very like protective energy of like, I have been hurt, I will not let that happen again. But at the same time, it is an option. The Four of Wands does talk about like a home, a family, like being happy and content and comfortable. With the Ten of Cups, it does have your like emotions still in it. This is like what everyone wants, like the happy family, like the whole thing. With the Two of Cups, like it has your heart in it. I kind of get like a relationship type of feel. But let me just take a look at the second option for you as well, like to really conclude. So option number 2 for pile number 3. Option number 2. What is the other option? The Queen of Coins, okay, and the Hanged Man. Option number 2. I'm already feeling like this is focusing on work and this is focusing on a relationship. But yeah, let's see what else comes out. Option number 2 for pile number 3. The Hierophant. Option number 2. The 8 of Wands, and at the bottom we have the Tower, yeah. And the World underneath that. Okay. Yeah, so I feel like I said, with option 1, it talks about like, I feel like a relationship, and I feel like this is a relationship that you actually feel, okay, you have been hurt by this person, like badly, but for the same time, you feel like it is still a very strong connection. It kind of gets me also the feel of like a twin flame connection, because twin flame connections can feel passionate and meant to be, and when it's beautiful, it's absolutely beautiful, but when it's bad, it's like horrible, like, and like you're becoming kind of like an ice queen in it. So yeah, that's for option number 1. And option number 2, I see a lot of thinking is still needed, a lot of internal thinking. And with the Hierophant talks about things should go a certain way, they should be, you know, there should be a certain line in the big things in your life. With the 8 of Wands and the Tower, like how it got out, like the Tower talks about major things happening, major shifts. And with 8 of Wands is things happening really quickly, but how they are portrayed, the first thing that I noticed, it kind of looks like the bird kind of set like the house on fire, like it flew and then like set it on fire. So I feel like that's what option 2 feels like. It feels like option two is not settling for this option and just set the house on fire and like, I'm not doing this anymore. Because for some of you as well, I feel there's like some like gaslighting happening or something, like a not healthy situation, but that's not for all of you. So if it doesn't resonate, don't pick it up. But for you who are in that kind of situation, I feel like this is just you taking time to really focus inside and see, like, this is not how a healthy relationship looks like. It's not how it should be. And it's like, do I deserve that? And then it's like the moment you realize, you know what? No, I do not deserve to be treated that way. Things move quickly and like Tower moments happen. Like everything. Because the Tower, usually people are scared of the Tower, but you need it to move on in life. Because it's major change and it's like, can be traumatic, and it's not that fun to be in Tower energy. But at the same time, with the 8 of Wands, I feel like you make the decision to set this Tower moment in motion. And even though, yes, it still sucks, yes, it's horrible to be in, you know that in the end it's good, it's better for you to just set this bridge on fire, leave it behind, and moving on. And with like the Queen of Coins, like you can, it's like the realization that you can do it yourself. You have the power to like shape your life the way you want and the way you think should be. But yeah, let me take a look at your oracle cards for these options. For option number A, or option number 1 for pile number 3, a time for healing. Okay, option number 1 for pile number 3. Option number 1 for pile number 3. Your commitment is being tested. Okay, so for a time for healing, this is what I get. Like, you have been hurt, but you do feel like this has potential of becoming your world, becoming that thing that you've always wanted, but healing is needed. You need to heal and then see as the healed version of you if that is still realistic. And your commitment is being tested is like the same. Like, you have been hurt, and now it's like, for some of you, it's like, are you gonna quit? Like, without being healed, without, just because you're hurt, without, because I feel like if you move on from this option to the other option without it being healed, I feel like you might regret this. And it's like, for some of you, I feel like when you move on to this option without it being healed, you will regret or always think about it. And then there's either the regret that you will always have, or you will compare other, like, new relationship with this relationship, or it can be that you like go back to this person without it being healed, like later in life. Which, if you heal and then you decide to go with another option, then you will not regret it. And if you heal and decide to stay, like, I feel like your commitment is being tested talks more about the commitment you have to yourself. Like, you deserve to know if you can heal from this and if you can move on from whatever the pain is that happened to you, and see if that's like the option is there. But yeah, and adjustments are required. Yeah, so things need to change, but like, have a realistic look at it. For this option, let's take a look at option number 2 for pile number 3. Option number 2. So this is balance, spirituality, and practicality. Yeah. Okay. Option 2 for pile number 3. Option 2. You're very close to achieving your goal. And we have the energy is gaining momentum. And then surrender to the divine at the bottom. Yeah, I feel like with the hangman and the surrender to the divine, I feel like taking some time inwards and see what this option brings, and if it will bring you happiness overall, or if it's just like a temporary relief of like the other option. I do feel like the longer you stay without healing this one is how harder it will get to go back to this option, and this option will just gain more momentum the longer it takes. This is just like, this isn't a bad option, or this isn't the surrender option, or like the I failed option. It's like a realistic option, a good option as well. But I feel like this needs more. I feel like for both options, you need some time to heal, like balance your spirituality and your practicality. And like, because this also needs it. This option also needs like a strong balance, not acting because of the hurt to like move forward. Um, so yeah, let me get some guidance for you guys with the tarot. Can I have some guidance for pile number 3? Oh. We have the High Priestess. Yeah, I think like for me, the High Priestess is that balance, is that healing, is that inner knowing, trusting your instincts, your intuition. Yeah, the Five of Pentacles, it's like acting out of a lack. So I feel like this is just, as in guidance, like I said, get healed. Don't act or don't choose an option because of hurt, because of spite, or because you feel like you're missing something right now that needs to be fulfilled, or otherwise you move on. Some guidance for pile number 3. Some guidance for pile number 3 on this situation, on these choices. Oh. Yeah, the Four of Swords and the Ace of Wands, and then we have the Hanged Man again. And then like the Two of Swords. Okay, death. Yeah, okay. I get it. Thank you. So for guidance, like the Four of Swords talks about rest, taking some moment for yourself. So I feel like maybe even restrain from making any one option, but decide to take a break for you, just you, to be able to breathe and relax and really think things through. Like, what is it that I want? The Hanged Man again. Also, take your time to really balance yourself and get to know yourself again. What is it that you want? Can you get over from this? Is it, because I feel like right now you feel very much like hard to breathe, very suffocated. Like you have to make an option or make a decision. Like if it's like a relationship or leave the relationship, I don't know. To me, like what I thought instantly is like book a hotel room for yourself for like a couple of days to get away, like leave your phone, like turn it off, take some you time, like take like 2 days where you can think about it, and then 2 days that you do not think about it and just like think about yourself for a moment, like take a bath, or I don't know, watch Netflix all day, or like take some time off of this indecisiveness feeling. And then, like, yeah, really heal you first. Focus on you first. Without these two options being, I have to make this in order to feel better. So yeah, some guidance for pile number 3. Some guidance for pile number 3. Passion, good luck, and yeah, lighten your load. Because I feel like that's, like you feel like Atlas right now. You are carrying the weight of the world, or that's how it feels. And then trust at the bottom. So I feel like, yeah, you need to trust yourself, your own intuition. I feel like find that passion within yourself again. Because I feel like because of the load you're carrying right now of these two options, it's not you that is making the decision, if that makes sense. Like it's like you feel cornered, and then just, I feel like you just want to make a decision to lighten the load. which no matter what decision you'll make, it will not lighten the load that way. I feel like you need a lot more of healing and calm, and like you need some you time and figure out, okay, what is it that you want? Because these options have you like got in this like whirlwind of like emotions and just going with it. I feel like you've just like gone with the flow, and then it got you into this decision where you have to make two options, and now you're all of a sudden there's no more flow and you're stuck, and now you need to make a decision. But I feel like, yeah, with the trust, where it's like you do not trust your own intuition at this moment because you haven't been able to use that trust in yourself for a while. So now it's like scary to do so. Gentle gardener. Yeah. I feel like that's what you need. Some gentle love towards yourself. Be gentle to yourself. Give yourself some space and room to breathe and not think about these options. So some guidance for pile number 3. Golden Palace. Yeah, that's like like I said, go to a hotel or take a break somewhere. And the mountain. The mountain to me just and you got the bone collector, I think, and the balancing act. I feel like a lot of things are similar with the other piles as well. But with the mountain, it just, like I said, like you've gone with the flow so much that or you've been not taking care of your own like garden, your own inner world, that it's been left like dry and not that beautiful or fun or being able to trust. I feel like you need to water yourself, like the rest, and the, be gentle and learn to trust yourself again. Take some time out to just get back. I like when I do this pile, or right now I feel like I just want to breathe. I just need some time without this pressure of having to make a choice. Like give yourself, because right now you're indecisive, so you're already not making a decision, but the pressure of having to make a decision is also what's keeping you from not being able to take your rest, take your moment to reflect. Because you're always like, oh, I don't know what to choose, but I have to choose. Oh, I don't know. And then time goes by, and the time you could use, because I feel like right now you feel like you shouldn't postpone any longer. Like you should make a decision any minute now. But because of that pressure, I feel like I said, you haven't been able to take the time to actually rest and actually reflect on what option is best for you. So I feel like, as an advice, I would really give yourself like a time frame, or like communicate with the other person. Like, okay, I have been like not being productively thinking about this for such a long time because I don't want to hurt your feelings or my feelings, but I feel like I need like 7 days or 5 days, or like come with a couple of days where you're like, okay, I need this amount of time for me to not worry about this. And even if that time includes like a whole day of like gaming or watching movies or like doing what it is that you love to do, to set your mind off of making a decision, and then at the last 1 or 2 days sit down after you got to know yourself a little bit again, and then see, okay, what are the pros and cons for both options, get with those options, go to that person, have a constructive conversation. And I know it's so hard to give yourself time when like a decision like this needs to be made. But at the same time, I feel like that's just what you need a little bit in order to make the best decision for you. Now, I'm gonna go with this deck as well. I did it for pile number 1 because I felt like they needed something like to hear with this. So I'm gonna do it for you, and for pile number 2 I did it as well. It might seem like weird, not fitting things that come up, but I promise I will make them work. So yeah, some guidance for pile number 3. Some last messages for pile number 3. I feel you even though we are apart. We have, it was my fault, but I blamed you. I knew exactly what I was doing. We will be together again. Oh, and that one fell off. Let's see. I will wait for a sign from you. And then we have, my life is not as together as it seems. I look for you everywhere and I am becoming a better person. So yeah, okay. I feel you even though we are apart. It was my fault, but I blamed you and exactly what I was doing. We were together. I'll wait for you. I feel like this is also a bit of like your inner intuition, inner child is like telling you like, just like take your or like quiet your mind, and then like your inner child will, or your intuition will come forward and will talk to you. That's like the first thing that I got, because I feel like that's where it's like you will, when you do that, like quiet it down and listen to it, I feel like the options will become more clear. It will become more clear what option is the best for you, in order to become a better person as well. Yeah, I feel like you got hurt badly. Like if you cared less for option A, this wouldn't even be an option. But because you care so much, and I feel like maybe even you're blaming yourself for the hurt that you got, and all your emotions are like mixed up, messed up, everything's like mixed together, which makes it even harder to see. So yeah, for the advice, I would say take some time to really reflect, go inside yourself, have that conversation with yourself of like, not just with the option, but like, who are you right now? Who are you in this moment? What is it that you want? What is it that you deserve? What is it, like, who are you? What do you want from this? What do you want in life? What do you, and what option will get you there? So yeah, I think there's nothing more to say. I will repeat whatever it is that I said already. So I'm just going to leave it here for you guys. I hope it resonated. I hope it was helpful. Please let me down. Don't let me down. But let me know in the comments down below if it resonated. What's your story about this? I would love to read about them. Also, let me know if there's anything you would like to see me ask next. And as always, I hope you're having a very wonderful, wonderful day, and I will see you guys again in the next video.